Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a Meet the Teacher video, and I'm really excited to do this with you. And this is an open collaboration video with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way, and I am just excited to participate in it. So I'll put the playlist down below because there's a whole lot of other homeschool moms that have participated. This will be happening every month throughout this whole next year with different themes, different ideas. So if you need some ideas, if you want to participate, check out the information all below, and it'll just be loads of fun. So let's meet the teacher. Okay, first, just a reminder, if you like this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be notified whenever I have future uploads and we can have lots of fun together. So to introduce myself, that's what they gave us a list, which is helpful for me. So the first thing on here says introduce yourself. And I'm sorry if I start coughing or sound like nasally. We've had colds and coughs for a few weeks, and we're getting over it and everything like that, but I'm still just a little bit congested, and it's been a few weeks since I filmed anything because I just cough and couldn't talk, and it'd make me nauseous, because that's one of the things I'll tell you why I'm nauseous. Everybody else on my channel already knows. But anyway, we are going off on tangents right now. But my name is Jackie, and I have four kids. I'm about to have 5 kids. That's why my hands are... I have 4 kids, and I am pregnant with a 5th, which is why I'm still kind of nauseous occasionally. I am almost 20 weeks with a baby boy, and so that's exciting. I guess it was a surprise, so it's been something I've been trying to work my way into. But I have my other 4 kids. My oldest is a boy. He's 9.5. Then a girl that's 8, a boy that's 6.5, and then a girl that's 4.5. And then a boy. We follow a pattern over here. And I live in Utah. It's very smoky right now. There's fires going on in Park City. If you're familiar with that part of Utah, it's kind of the touristy part where people like to come visit. And so it's just a big smoke bog out my window. I live further north, but it's kind of a yucky mess right now. And yeah, I don't know what else to say to introduce myself, because some of these questions will kind of introduce me along the way. So here we go with the rest of the questions. How many years have you homeschooled? And we're going into our 5th year, which when I was counting it up, I was like, really? It's been that long? I'm like, we've survived this whole time? I don't know how that's happened, but somehow we have almost made it. So anyways, we're going into our 5th year. We started when my oldest was in kindergarten. It was a real big struggle. He's high functioning autistic. We ended up pulling him out of school, and it was just a better fit for our family. And then we've moved several times. And so now we're in Utah, and we've been here for a few years and have continued homeschooling everybody here. And so it's been a good experience. It's been a hard experience. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sometimes it's really hard, and I wish I could just throw them into public school. And other times it's a lot of fun. So that's kind of that. And the next question is do you have a homeschool style? I don't feel like I do necessarily. I don't know. And I'm not honestly super familiar with all the different names of schooling styles. I studied human development in school. You think I'd be more familiar with all the different things, but I'm not. I feel like in general, our style is kind of eclectic. I just kind of take from what I like and what I feel like fits my kids best at the moment. And that's what we do. And so that might be completely different than the style we've previously used. It might be the same. It just kind of depends. I never was a go with the flow kind of person, but I have kind of become more like that. And I just kind of adapt to what we like to do and what is working best for us at any given stage of our life. So that's kind of my homeschooling style. And what is your favorite subject to teach? I don't know. This is kind of difficult for me. I love math. I don't know if it's my favorite subject to teach to my kids. I get really excited about it, and I want them to be as excited about it as I am, but they're not always. But I really do. I love teaching scriptures. And so I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we study the Book of Mormon and the Bible. And so I love talking to them about the scriptures, and that's a lot of fun for me. And I also love nature. We don't get out as much as I would like to, but so I love just teaching them about nature, but also just going through, I don't know, like art stuff. This is like all the subjects. You're like, one subject. Come on, pick one subject. I can't. I have all the subjects over here. And so, yeah, I like a variety of subjects. Math has always been my favorite subject. And so I think I enjoy teaching that the most because I understand it the most. But I also enjoy a variety of other things. And I really enjoy baking and cooking. That's something that I like to focus on in our homeschool. And so that's another subject, you know, like home ec type stuff is stuff that would probably be one of my favorite things to teach, even if it can get frustrating with little kids because it's kind of makes a mess. Kids' hands in the way. It doesn't always go according to plan. Anyways, I'm going to take way too long to answer all these questions. But it says, if you could only choose 3 homeschool tools, what would they be? And this is a hard question, guys. I just don't even, it really is a difficult question for me. Books, number 1. Books in my head is like, we have to have books. I love books. Like I would just take all the books. I love to smell them. I love to hold them. So included with books is like scriptures and stuff that would be included in that kind of thing. And then the next thing was like hands-on learning stuff. So manipulatives, but also any sort of games that we use. Anything that's kind of that hands-on learning that helps further the experience instead of just book work. I feel like those are things I would not want to get rid of. And then I'm not, like the last thing is hard for me. I just don't even know. Part of me wants to say like my kitchen because like baking and cooking are things that I just love to do. So I'm like, that's a homeschool tool I couldn't get rid of. I have to have a kitchen. And then part of me wants to say outdoors because I love like my mountains. I love being in the mountains and things like that. So I don't really have a solid thing, but I also love crafts. So I feel like anything artsy or craft related would be a lot of fun, and that's something I would not want to get rid of either. So I'm not staying within the parameters of these questions, so somebody will get mad at me, but that's okay. What inspires you as a teacher? I just love this question, and the first thing that always pops into my head when I think of this is the look in kids' eyes when they get it. I have taught a lot of different things over the years. I was almost a secondary education teacher, but I've taught in other countries and different things like that. And my favorite thing is when kids get it. And I also tutored a lot when I was in college. I tutored high school students. And it's always just fun when you just see that switch in their eyes, when it just starts to make sense to them. And it's one of my favorite things. And so I really, really love that. I feel like I wrote something else down over here that I was thinking about in relation to this question. And I think something else that really, really inspires me as a teacher is being able to give kids tons of different information and allowing them to pick and choose what they like the most. I feel like growing up, I was given a more viewed view of the world, that just this very tunneled vision idea of how the world functions. And as I got older and gained more of an education and went to school, my worldview expanded. And so as a teacher, that inspires me to make sure my kids have multiple views of what's going on. You know, it doesn't mean that they believe everything, that they follow everything or whatever, but just understanding that there's more to the world than just this narrow-minded view. I really want them to know that, and that's something that really inspires me as a teacher. So there you go. Are you an early bird or a night owl? I am an early bird for sure. I've always been made fun of for this. I don't go to bed as early. I have a friend whose husband goes to bed at like 8:30. I do not go to bed that early. He obviously gets up super early, but I go usually by 10 or 10:30. Like on the weekends, it'll be like 11. I can't remember the last time I stayed up past midnight, even on New Year's. We go to bed before midnight. I know, bah humbug over here. Anyways, even as a teenager, my mom, my siblings would always make fun of me, like, oh, she's gonna melt. You know, like, you better get her in bed. She's gonna melt. So, like, usually by 10 or 10:30, especially right now with being pregnant, usually by 9:30 or 10, I'm like pretty dead. And then I try to get up at 5:30, and I was doing really good until I got pregnant and sick and everything. Usually now it's between 6 and 6:30, just because I'm more tired and just have a harder time getting out of bed, and I was feeling so sick. But 5:30 is usually my goal. So in bed by 10:30, up by 5:30. And I like that. I like getting up, getting things done, and feeling like by lunchtime that I have accomplished so much. That is like the best feeling to me in the world. So definitely early bird. And then what is your favorite teacher treat? So they have like coffee, tea, candy, chocolate. So I don't drink coffee or tea. I never have. So that's nix that. I drink water. So I guess you could count that as a treat. I just love water, like cold water. That is definitely a treat to me. But I'm not a huge treat person. Like I love to have sweets, but I don't love treats a whole lot most of the time. But if I were to pick a treat, it would be something citrus. And like I love lemon or lime stuff that is really tart and not just like artificially flavored. So that's probably what I would pick, is just something like makes me pucker up. Buttercup, I love that stuff. And then do you prep and plan or go with the flow? I am definitely more of a planner, but not nearly as much as I thought I was gonna be. Like I am one of those people that I have always been, I have to have a plan, I have to know what's going on. We can't like be deterred from the plan. But as I started to homeschool more and more, I've become kind of in between. I feel like I plan certain things, but there's also a lot of things I just kind of like, we'll see what happens. And then the last question is, what is something you really enjoy outside of being a homeschool parent? So some of these overlap with some of my focuses in homeschool. So I love to bake, I love to cook. It's been something I've always loved to do, and we give it to all the neighbors. My husband will go visit everybody for church and stuff, and I'll give him all the treats to go visit. I love hiking. I love like pushing myself in exercise, whether that's through hiking or through lifting. I just really love that a lot. And then I do really love to build things with wood. I don't do very much anymore. We're just so busy with other things. I just don't have time. But in the past, I built a lot of things. We renovated a house we lived in Connecticut, and I love doing that. So those are just a variety of things. I love to read. I read a lot and stuff and about human development. I do fiction, nonfiction, a variety of things. And I do book reviews on this channel. So that's because I love to read so much. But those are just a few things. Okay, so that's me in a nutshell. Maybe a bigger nutshell than you really wanted to know about. I don't know. Anyways, remember to check out that playlist down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.